My LSU Tigers are up next in my 2024 SEC football record predictions. So far I have done Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, and Kentucky. 6 predictions are up on my channel right now. If you want to go check those out, feel free to do so. Um, Jumping into this one, man, you know, I'm pretty confident in LSU's schedule this year. I'm pretty confident in the team. I think the biggest question mark, by far the biggest question mark, is going to be how does the defense improve from last year. Now, last year LSU had a historically bad defense to go along with a historically good offense. Pretty insane, bro. I never thought you know, 2 or 3 times, really 2 times in the past 4 years, I've seen LSU have a historically bad defense, and that's just not how it should be, man. Bo Pelini and then Matt House. I don't know what got into Matt House. He had a pretty solid defense in 2022, and then it just shit the bed, man. Don't know what happened to it. Don't know what got into him, but it is what it is. We wasted Jaden Daniels, but I mean, he won the Heisman, so I guess that's one good thing to take away from it. But yeah, the defense, how does it improve? The secondary, specifically the defensive line, is probably the biggest weakness on this team as far as, like proven production. The defensive line could end up being pretty solid for us if some guys develop really nicely. We got 5-star Dominic McKinley, who is a freshman. If he can come in and produce, right away, or, the second half of the season, that's gonna be really beneficial for us. I think the defense is gonna struggle at first. I would say around probably the bye week. This first 5 games here, I think the defense is probably gonna struggle a little bit. Trying to get their feet under them, trying to play together, get that chemistry going. But I think after that bye week here, and then going into Ole Miss and the toughest part of the schedule here, I think the defense is going to be better. How good, though, are they going to be? What is the ceiling for this defense is the big question, and that's something I don't have the answer to, obviously. So, yeah, that's my guess, though. Right around this bye week is when the LSU defense will really take a noticeable step forward, because they'll have all this film here against pretty solid teams to look back on and, improve upon. So they start off a big matchup against USC. Now, USC is scared of us, apparently. Lincoln Riley's been trying to get out of this game for quite a while. It didn't work, and they were getting clowned on it, about it, on social media not too long ago. So, yeah, they don't want the smoke. That's not going to factor into my prediction. I think this is going to be a close game. I think both offenses are going to come out doing their thing. I think LSU's offense is going to be really good again. I'm not worried about it. Garrett Nussmeier is that dude. I think the offense is going to be just fine. I think it's going to be more balanced than it has been the last couple years, with Jaden Daniels being the only running game we have. I think we're going to have more of a traditional running game. I think it's going to be pretty good behind what I think is going to be the best offensive line in the country. We got arguably the 2 best offensive tackles in Will Campbell and Amory Jones. I feel very confident about the offensive line, man. They're going to be so freaking good. It's unreal. Probably the best offensive line I've seen at LSU since, in my time of being a fan. But yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of a shootout. Both USC and LSU are revamping their defense. I think USC is going to take a little bit more time. I think LSU has probably the best defensive staff in the country. Or one of, at least. Yeah, I think it's going to be close, but I think LSU does end up getting the win here against USC and breaking this streak of losing the first game of the regular season, because that has been horrible. LSU's schedule is tough teams, though, to start the season. Usually we played Florida State the last 2 years, man. We played Miami one year. We scheduled some pretty tough teams. We scheduled UCLA, I think, week 1 a couple years ago as well. We had to go there to play. We had to go to UCLA and ended up losing. Then we played Nichols. It's going to be a win. At South Carolina, I'm glad it's a noon game. If it was a night game, I would be a bit nervous. I still am a little bit nervous because I think, South Carolina is a very underrated place to play. Lenoris Sellers, the quarterback for South Carolina. How good is he going to be? There's a lot of hype around him. Very high potential type of player. How good is he going to be in week 3 and with an LSU team coming to town who is trying to figure out their defense, most likely. I think this could be a bit of a dogfight. But I do think the LSU offense will be just a little bit too much. And I think the defense will do enough to get the win here as well. UCLA, a team that has had a lot of turnover in their coaching staff. I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think it was that bad in terms of like the player turnover. But they did get a new head coach. Chip Kelly went to freaking Ohio State to be an offensive coordinator. So yeah, a lot of people are pretty down on UCLA. I don't think they're going to be as bad as people think they are. What's crazy now is LSU has 2 Big Ten teams to play in their first 4 games, as well as an SEC opponent on the road. Pretty not easy start to the season, but I think with this being a home game, hopefully a night game, I think LSU is going to get the win here. I would venture to say it's going to be fairly easy at some point. I think it's going to be a pretty close at first. Maybe the first half will be a bit close, but I think LSU will eventually pull away. South Alabama, that's going to be a win. I know my W's are all over the freaking place, bro. It's just like my handwriting for real. Then we get the off week, and then we get Ole Miss. And this is a game last year that I think LSU should have won. We had, what was it, a 9-point lead late in the 4th quarter. We ended up blowing it. Still mad about that shit. Ole Miss. What are they gonna be like, bro? A lot of people are thinking they're gonna be a for sure playoff team. I think they are gonna be a playoff team as well. I don't know about for sure, but I think they are gonna be a playoff team. And they got a lot of talent around them. But, it's one thing to bring in the talent from the transfer portal. It's another thing to have that work out on the field as well. Got to play together, man. And how well are they going to be playing together? This is about middle of the season, so I think this will be about when they start to click, of course. This is going to be at Death Valley. A night game for sure. I mean, Ole Miss is a very stacked team. So if they're clicking together the entire season, they could probably only lose 1 or 2 games. I don't think any team's gonna go undefeated in the SEC. Just spoiler, I suppose. I don't think any team is going undefeated. I don't know, man. It's tough. This is a tough one. This is a very tough one. I would say I'm going with my gut feeling here. Luke. I would say, as much as I hate to say this, but I think it'll end up being a close game. If our defense is playing well at this point, like I think it's gonna be after the bye week. If our defense is playing well, I think we can win this game. We can 100% win this game. We almost won it last year with a terrible defense. I think our offense is going to be just fine, like I said, but I think this is going to be a very close game. I think Ole Miss will end up holding it out. I think it's going to be 50-50 for me. But I'm going to go with my gut here, and this game does scare me a little bit. It being at home, I think, honestly, that, that's going to favor us. I think we probably have more of a chance to win this game than not. I'm I'm a bit iffy about it. And my gut feeling when I first looked at it was close loss, so I just went with that, man. Um, at Arkansas. A night game at Arkansas kind of scares me. I believe, yeah, I have LSU winning this one. This could be a scary one though. This could be a pretty scary one. Even, with the record, I have Arkansas going, I have Arkansas having. This could be a tricky one because they always play LSU tough. The last couple years, they've played LSU really, really tough. I think it could be really close. Probably like a 3 to 6 point game. I could see that being, but I think LSU does get the win. At Texas A&M, LSU finds it very difficult to win at College Station. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M to get the win here. It seems like the home team always wins that game, so that's probably the one game on this schedule that I'm like, yeah, we're probably gonna lose it. That's the one game on here. Maybe that'll change with Mike Elko at the helm for A&M. Honestly, I just think that Elko is gonna do a better job at A&M than Jimbo Fisher could. I mean, probably won't be that hard to do that, but yeah, LSU loses 2 out of their 3. Before their bye week going into Bama. And I do have LSU getting this win against Bama. Now, the big thing here, I think LSU's defense is going to be as good as it's going to be when it comes to this game here in Alabama. It's at home. Death Valley's always rocking. It should be a night game. When Bama comes to town, there's nothing like Death Valley, bro. They get up more for Alabama than any other team on the schedule, pretty much. If we can contain Jalen Milroe like we should have last year, we will be fine. Because Jalen Milroe hurt us with his legs. That's it, bro. He had like 40 rushing touchdowns. I heard he just had another one just like 5 minutes ago. If we can contain him, we have a guy named Harold Perkins. Put Perk on Milroe, bro, and he's gonna have a hard time running. A harder time at running. Milroe is still an athlete. He's gonna make his plays. Running quarterbacks like that scare me a little bit. So, it's a toss-up for me. This one is, but I have the feeling LSU is going to get a bounce-back win against Bama and get revenge off of last year's game. I think LSU played Bama really well last year with how bad the defense was. We lost 42-28. Jaden Daniels got hurt late in that game and did not play the rest of it. And I don't think we would have won even with him. Maybe we probably would have lost 42-35 with him in there, which is still crazy to me. On the road at Bama, and I feel good about this game here. I feel good about us beating Bama. Then we go to Florida, which I have LSU beating Florida on the road. LSU has beaten Florida, 5 years in a row? I think Florida's going to be pretty solid this year. I think they're a team that people are writing off already because of their #1 strength of schedule. I think Graham Mertz is going to have a solid season. I think the defense is going to be improved. They're going to be a heavy run team. I think they look pretty good all around in the spring game I watched. This is a do or die year for Billy Napier. They do have the stuff with Jaden Rashada going on off the field, so we'll see how much of a distraction that is. It wouldn't be a distraction down here probably, but beginning of the season, we'll see how he deals with that along with football. And yeah, I do feel pretty good about LSU getting the win here. Hopefully that's a 3:30 game and not a night game at the Swamp, because Florida fans can get pretty rowdy But yeah, I do see that being a close win for LSU. Vandy, yeah, surprise, surprise. Okay, whatever. That's just gonna stay like that. Oklahoma to end the season. So right now, LSU 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'd be 9-2. This could be a game they need to win to get to the playoff. 10-2, 9-3. Big difference. I think there could be a lot of 10-2 teams in the SEC. I think there could be a lot of 9-3 teams in the SEC this year. So I mean, this could be, Oklahoma could be at this point 9-2, going into this game as well, and it could be a playoff play-in game sort of for them as well. So this could be a pretty big one, and I like the LSU's at home for this. I think it'll be a night game. If it's a big matchup like what I just explained, I don't see why it wouldn't be a night game. Oklahoma's gonna have a solid defense. Man, I don't, I go with my gut feeling. That's what I do with these. And my gut feeling at the first was LSU is gonna get a decent win here. Like 10 plus points. And that's what that was my gut feeling, so I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, I have LSU going 10-2 this season, man. I would not be surprised if they go 9-3. I think, what would their ceiling be? I think the ceiling for this team is 11-1. I think this A&M game right here is really scary. This is like the most for sure loss on this schedule, to be honest, for me. I can't. If we can go to A&M and win, that'll be a massive win for us, regardless of how good A&M is. That would be a massive win. I mean, A&M, I think, finished 5-7 2 years ago, and LSU went in there with the number 5 team in the country and still lost. Like, it's very hard to win there for LSU, man. So I think this is the most for sure loss on the schedule. And, I'm not ashamed to say that at all. But, yeah, I think we could beat Ole Miss. It, again, just depends on the defense. If the defense is terrible, they're going to be a 9-3, 8-4 team. If the defense plays, vastly improved, and the coaching staff makes a big difference, they could be an 11-1 team, 10-2 team. So, yeah, I do hope that will be enough to get LSU in the playoff. But yeah, I do have LSU going 10-2, ceiling 11-1, floor I would say 7-5. Floor I would say is 8-4 actually. I think it's a decently high floor, and a very high ceiling. So the potential with this LSU team is really, really high, man. Again, just depends on the defense. That's what this team is gonna do or die by. The freaking defense, bro. Please, God, don't let me go through another year of that pain. That was... Bro, I wanted to throw a remote through the TV every single time I watched this team play on Saturdays. That Ole Miss game, holy shit. Last year's Ole Miss game almost did me in, man. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like at the subscribe button, man. And let me know what your guys' thoughts on LSU are in the comments down below. What do you have their record being? And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. We got Mississippi State next on the list.